right, joining me now to break down some best bets for week 8 of the NFL season and to discuss some of the top storylines in the league is our guy from the 3 and Out podcast, John Middlekauff. John, how you making out today?
Pretty good. Probably not as good as you guys up in Canada, though. The Toronto Blue Jays, Joe Carter back in action with Vladdy Jr. taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers, who look like a absolute freight train right now. But Godspeed to you.
Yeah, it feels good. You know, the team that everyone kind of keeps giving up on, but they got no quit in them. Momentum does not matter to the 2025 Toronto Blue Jays. Okay, let's get into some football here. Let's start with the team who maybe is a little bit of a surprise to some, the New England Patriots. They were a bit of a trendy pick coming into this season. Got off to a slow start, 1-2, including a loss to the Raiders. Since then, though, they've rattled off 4 straight wins. They're in first place, John, in the AFC East. Plus 155 to win the division. The Bills minus 190. How much of a shot do you give the Patriots to actually win the division?
Well, I think we would all agree they have one of the best wins of the season, right? At Buffalo on Sunday Night Football. Their quarterback has parlayed that into just an exceptional second season. We know their coach has a proven track record. Number 1 seed with the Titans. I mean, people forget because we talk so much about the year where they upset New England, they upset Baltimore on the road, and Derrick Henry ran for like 700 yards. But he was the 1 seed, and then Tannehill had, I think he threw like 3 picks against the Cincinnati Bengals. But here's the thing when you look at the Patriots. This is why I like the Niners at the beginning of the season. Their schedule stinks. It's a lot of Jets. It's a lot of Flacco and the Bengals. It's a lot of this Giants debacle. It's a lot of more Jets and Dolphins. So the schedule is on their side. And I definitely... I don't think I would bet it because, listen, you still have a young team. This team in a couple of years is going to be way more talented than it is now. But they are going to win. They're winning double-digit games. I mean, they were an over-under, right? Like 7.5, 8. That was crazy just based on their schedule. Obviously, Drake May, I would say, is a little bit better than even I thought. But, yeah, I mean, I think they're winning 10 and 11 games. And honestly, if they just get – some football magic on their side. Who's to say are they going to, like, is Josh Allen really not going to win the division? It does feel like, listen, they were like almost like minus 400 at the start of the season, rightfully so.
Yeah.
And I still give them the benefit of the doubt, but let's face it. It's not like there's some juggernaut roster wise. I mean, you watch their defense. It's not great. Even offensively, like Cook's really good. Their tight ends are solid, but there's a lot of Keon Coleman. And I like Khalil Shakir a lot, but that's not exactly Jerry Rice and Randy Moss running around out there.
Yeah, they got to make a move or two at the deadline to upgrade that offense and maybe a move or two for the defensive side of the ball. I don't think the Bills have played their best football yet this season.
Agreed.
We'll see how they look coming out of their bye. Okay, let's stick in the division here. So a lot of people, their prediction for the Miami Dolphins coming into the season was, hey, the wheels might fall off this year. But I don't even think the biggest hater of the Dolphins would have predicted this. 1-6 coming into the week here, John. Fresh off a 31-6 beatdown at the hands of the Cleveland Browns. It's one thing if the Lions or Chiefs beat you that badly, but it's the Cleveland Browns. I think they'd almost be doing Mike McDaniel a favor by firing him. It's like a humiliation ritual when he's got to go out there at these press conferences after these games. So if you were tasked with managing the Miami Dolphins from this point of the season through the offseason, what moves would you look to make?
Well, I don't think they have that much talent on their roster. So when people say like blow it up, like who, Waddle? I mean, there's not a lot of guys that people would be lined up, to trade for. Now, if you wanted to trade Waddle and maybe get like the thing is like no one's trading first round picks, for older players who make big money. Smaller wide receiver. So like his value to you is higher than it is to other teams. I think you just got to nuke the thing. And this is where it gets complicated. Like when I see Tua's played his last game for the Miami Dolphins, like, are they just going to cut him and just eat the money? Like I have a hard time seeing that. I think clearly the coach wants to be fired at this point. Hard to blame him. I think the question mark is the front office. And a lot of people believe that he has some like incriminating evidence, right, on the owner because of the Flores situation. And if that is true, then I don't think it's a sure thing that he's taken out. Now, if he's not, no one is coming to work for him in that organization. That's where I would say this, though. The Titans are a good example. They've gotten rid of everybody over the last 5 years, right? Firing coaches, firing GMs. They finally hire this guy from the Kansas City Chiefs. And you're like, well, he's not even the boss. Brinker is actually the president, but he's also a football guy. And it just feels like the organization's lost. That's why I don't have that much faith that Stephen Ross can fix this. He's tried in the past. It's failed. Like the Parcells type mindset. And I don't know. I mean, I think this thing is a year away from being 2 years away. And it all comes with just, tearing it down to the studs, which sucks because you endure this terrible season. Even the years when you made the playoffs, they always ended so bad, right? When the weather turned. So it didn't feel as good as it actually should have. Like this year, if the Patriots win 10 or 11 games, that's an incredible accomplishment if you're a Patriot fan. You're feeling so good. You got a bunch of momentum. The Dolphin seasons ended so weirdly every time that you didn't even really get to enjoy it. So it feels worse because it's not like he didn't have that much. He had some success early on, right? Got to the playoffs a couple times.
Yeah.
Did he almost beat Josh Allen with Skylar Thompson? So, and that's part of it. Their quarterback always got hurt in big spots. It's just sad. And I've said this forever. And listen, I know you're a Dolphins fan. Do you think you can win in Miami in this modern day time with social media, with the money? It just feels like a tough uphill battle that Buffalo and New England have advantages that you don't, with not much to do.
Yeah, it's tough. I say that, they kind of need like a bit of a hard ass coach. It's funny, they had Brian Flores, who was too much of a hard ass, so they went the completely opposite direction. But if you look at the Miami Heat, a team that's really overachieved, and of course they play in the exact same city, they talk about heat culture and, they work these guys into the ground. The Dolphins do not have that. I do think a little bit of that mentality could work for them. But yeah, things just didn't come together for them. Their opportunity was in 2023 when they had Vic Fangio. The defense falls apart. They end up closing out the regular season badly. Then they go to Kansas City for one of the coldest playoff games of all time. It did not work out. So
what if you just pay Eric Spoelstra like $25 million a year to run the entire operation and he gets to pick the coach? And it's more like philosophically, I know X's and O's wise, but he just gets to run it from a philosophical standpoint. You could do worse. I mean, hell, they're doing worse.
I think he'd do better than Chris Greer. I think me or you would do a lot better than Chris Greer. Okay, another team going in the wrong direction, not as bad as the Miami Dolphins. The Los Angeles Chargers are 1-3 in their last 4 games. Could easily be 0-4 if not for a last-minute win over the Miami Dolphins. Their offensive line is decimated. Their defense is starting to fall apart here as well. They're plus 160 to miss the playoffs. As constructed today, do you think the Chargers are a playoff team?
Their defense is falling apart, so I would say no. I mean, that was really evident the other day. Because as the game went on, Herbert's kind of started, catching fire, but they couldn't get a stop to save their life. And like you brought up the Miami game, they had a controlling lead in that game. And then all of a sudden, Miami's just driving right down the field. One thing that Harbaugh and, you go back to Stanford, 49ers, Michigan, obviously last year with the Chargers, is playing defense. And Jesse Minter, this is why you got to be careful. Like, this guy's a lock to be the next head coach somewhere. And then all of a sudden the season plays out. And you're like, their defense isn't very good. Now, listen, they got injuries, offensive line-wise. They're in shambles, missing running backs. So they want – I know they've thrown the ball a lot this year, but like at Harbaugh's core, he wants to slow it down, play defense, run the ball, and take away possessions for the other team. That was not the case the other night. I mean, it felt like the Indianapolis Colts could have scored 60 points. Now, their offense is really good. I mean, no one's talking about Tyler Warren for Offensive Rookie of the Year, but he looks as good as anybody. Jonathan Taylor's an MVP candidate. And obviously Daniel Jones, I'd be stunned. I think they've changed the criteria, but going to win comeback player of the year. I mean, Shane Steichen's, as the kids would say, in his bag, but they were working the Chargers. They made the Chargers look like more of a lottery team than a team that I thought could like compete to win the, Super Bowl. But you lose your starting left tackle, then you lose Alt, who you move over there. Now we'll see when he comes back. That's no one's overcoming that. You can overcome one tackle situation if you're well, but you can't overcome 2 all-pro tackles. It's just not possible. And then defensively, it does feel like they've almost like so much energy has come. You have to carry us, and it's almost like they broke, which is crazy because they get Khalil Mack back, obviously Derwin James, but they were getting shredded. I mean, with ease. Guys wide open in the flat, just scampering for 10 yards untouched. That to me was the crazy part. How often plays, basic, play action dump offs, guys were untouched for easy first downs. That when that's happening, it feels like you're like the Miami Dolphins or something, right?
Yeah, I like the Vikings on Thursday night +3 against the Chargers. Pretty good
Who's the
pass rush.
quarterback though? Is my
It's
question.
it's looking like it's gonna be Wentz. If you look at the stats, not too bad. He's had a couple of 300-yard games here, and the Chargers' pass defense has been pretty bad over the past couple weeks here. So I like the dog in that spot. Okay, AFC North, I think could get pretty interesting in the second half of the season here, John. Bengals seem to have a little bit of new life with Joe Flacco. Great performance last Thursday Night
Awesome.
Football. Meanwhile, Lamar's coming back for the Ravens. I know they've gotten off to an awful start, but the toughest part of their schedule is out of the way. Odds to make the playoffs, kind of interesting. The Ravens +100. The Bengals are +290, despite the fact that they have two more wins than the Ravens. Who do you think a better bet is to make a push for a playoff spot?
Well, I think only one team in the North is making it, right? Because if you go Chiefs and the Broncos, just based on the math, like Chiefs are in, obviously the Broncos, based on math, are going to be in. And then you look at the Bills and the Patriots based on their schedule and the Bills' history, like they're in. So there's only one wild card spot, which, we'll see what happens with the Bengals. I think Flacco just kind of caught lightning in a bottle. This is must win this week for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I know you said Lamar's back, but he didn't practice yesterday. Anytime with a hamstring with a player who is just very predicated on movement, it kind of makes me nervous. At the end of the day, he's like their 10-year solution, not week to week, but their season's on the line. They lose this week, it's over. Like you can't lose coming out of a bye. I'm a big believer is once you get that deep, once you get to 1-5, like you've already proven you're not very good. And it's one thing if you go 1-5, like the Cardinals, for example. They easily could be like 6-1. I mean, they have been a real football team. They just blow it at the end, do dumb stuff. The Ravens have not been that. They have gotten worked countless times. So to think that you're just going to flip a switch if Lamar's starting, even if Roquan's back, I've seen those two guys on the field for this Ravens team, and it wasn't close. So I would bet against them. To me, the thing with the Bengals that's going to be interesting is their offensive line isn't very good. But when you play a short week, the other defensive line's exhausted. And TJ Watt was kind of a non-factor. I would imagine typically he's not even feeling himself by Thursday of a given game week. Well, he had to play, and their strength, because their defensive line had looked awesome the previous several weeks, all of a sudden looked terrible. And beside the last time when Cam Hayward and TJ sacked him, toward the end of the game, he was untouched. He could eat a peanut butter sandwich back there. I don't know if that's going to be the case most weeks, right? Because Flacco can't move. But there is no arguing that their offense, Joe's no dummy. Just throw it to those two guys, and that they could just stay around, right? And I wouldn't bet on them to go over 500. But if you tell me all of a sudden you look up and they're like 6-6, because they're going to have games where those two guys combined for 20 catches and 250 yards, like that is something that is sustainable. Those two guys just because the Steelers, they were going up against Jalen Ramsey and they were just cooking them.
Yeah, I think sometimes these offensive coordinators overthink things. Just target
Totally.
Jamar Chase 15 times, and you're going to have a little bit of offensive life.
Look
Right?
at the Eagles last week for the first time. It's like, hey guys, just throw some bombs to your two sweet wide receivers. Your quarterback, even when he's struggling, throws a great deep ball, and you have two guys making a combined like $50 million who are awesome. One guy had the greatest season in the history of college football. The other guy's built like a mutant and wants the ball. Just throw them the ball. And they did. And look what happened.
Indeed. Okay, let's get into a couple of best bets. You got two for us, and let's pick up with the Baltimore Ravens. They're at home hosting, I guess you could call the Chicago Bears hot. Some wins, ugly wins, but wins are wins, right? They'll take them. The Bears are a 6.5-point dog, and you like the Bears to give them a game.
Well, I'm cold, so I need to heat up here. It's been a rough couple of weeks. Listen, I'm just out on the Ravens. I think sometimes you just have a year from health season. You have a bunch of injuries. Even if Lamar comes back, I think there are still question marks with his overall health, right? And a huge part of his dominance, if that hamstring is 80%, to me, it's scary, twofold. Do you not call typical plays that you would for him? And two, hammies reoccur. Say what you want about the Bears. Caleb is kind of a roller coaster. their defense has been really good. I think they lead the league in takeaways. I mean, they made Spencer Rattler look like a UFL quarterback. And listen, you'd be like, well, John, Spencer Rattler, he had been playing pretty well, and they destroyed him. So defensively, they're awesome. Offensively, DeAndre Swift is really coming on. I actually think the Bears, listen, I don't know if they win this game, but like their style, one thing Ben Johnson did with Detroit is he involves the running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery became stars under his watch, and now DeAndre Swift is becoming that. Like, I'm just really out on this Ravens team, and I think the Bears have a lot of momentum coming into this game.
Okay, we'll wrap with the Patriots looking to stay hot at home. They're favored by 7 with the Cleveland Browns in town. You're going to take the Browns to give the Patriots a game.
Well, I bet against the Patriots in this spot a couple times, kind of feeling themselves, and it's backfired both
Mm,
times. Obviously, the Browns are way better at home. I mean, their defense at home.
yeah.
Like, listen, I mean, I know everyone's crushing him. I think they would have done that to a lot of teams. Their defense is legitimately good. It's like the Texans. It's just offensively they got issues. But now, do they have one of? I mean, I think we're so quick to go offensive rookie of the year. Well, Judkins, the kid from Ohio State, looks fantastic, which is ironic because we all thought Trey Henderson, the running back for New England, was going to be a star. He's had
Mm.
a rough year. So all of a sudden, the Browns, what can they do? Play defense, run the ball, make it ugly. I mean, typically they're not going to win games like 30-7 or whatever. But this is a spot, all of a sudden, the Patriots, everyone's anointing them, including myself, where it's like if you become motivated, and even Vrabel said, like, I know all these guys, they got a good coaching staff. Jim Schwartz, he's got to be, just based on his record over the last like 5-6 years, one of the better defensive coordinators in the league. They have been really, really good. So I just think this is a tough spot. And this is a good testing spot for Drake May. I mean, this defense, you get a young quarterback who's everyone's like anointing as the next star. It's all based on, like, do the Browns try? Because they try at home. Does the defense sometimes on the road, they're kind of whatever. And obviously offensively, can you run the ball with Judkins? Because people forget he transferred to Ohio State. His first couple years in the SEC, he was like one of the best players in the SEC. I think he was SEC Freshman of the Year at Ole Miss. Like this guy is built like a tank. I mean, he's like a more physical version of like Nick Chubb. So just hand him the ball, play defense, and cover the spread.
Okay, there you have it. Let's go Browns. Sometimes ugly picks are the best picks. So we'll wish you good luck with
Yeah.
those, John. Right on. All right, man. Well, we'll leave it at that for today. Thank you very much for joining. Great spot today. We'll look forward to catching up with you again next week ahead of week 9 in the NFL.
See ya.